Mappa is an animation studio I definitely know you heard of. People cannot stop frothing at the mouth knowing that they're going to produce their next favorite anime. The studio has some fantastic work and some not so fantastic work. With them feeling more prominent in the anime community recently, are people getting tired of the studio? I know I am. And I don't think it's because of the quality of the animation, well, mostly. I just think that seeing the same style of animation so often makes me appreciate other studios a little more. But since you're here, let's talk about a couple of different anime Mappa's animated and see if there's something in common with all of them. Starting with I really don't like season 4 of Attack on Titan, partially because of the animation. We all know the story on why it happened. Bones dropped the show just for Mappa to pick it up for its final season. But just because it happened doesn't mean I have to like it. Season 4 is completely different from what the rest of the show looked like. Everything looks so desaturated and I absolutely hate it. Comparing it to season 1, the show looks a lot brighter with lighting being blended with shades of yellow all over the place. Kind of like a certain show with a drug dealer in New Mexico.
Put your dick away, Walter.
I think that season 4 has no real feeling towards it, unlike the other anime that are coming up. It feels like this was just a drawn out finale that the studio did out of obligation and non-enjoyment. Like, the season feels more accurate to the manga, but I don't think anybody was begging for the show to be more stylized. Like, I would bet that people even watched it exclusively just because of how the show looked on its own. Like, even when they tried to make it more manga accurate in season 3, it still looked better than what Mappa produced. I hate Attack on Titan season 4. Another anime that was picked up in the last couple of years by Mappa is Bleach. I think that this is what they wanted to make Attack on Titan feel like, but they just couldn't. A grand send-off to a popular show that's supposed to be the end of the series. I think that Bleach being picked up by the studio was a blessing because of how restricting the other studio was due to time restraints. Bleach was a weekly anime, so I can only imagine how many corners had to be cut just to keep the show going. And then people complain about how much filler there is in the show, but then at the same time, like, I imagine that the manga got caught up to the anime and then they had to like drag it out as far as possible just so that the manga could like, you know, reach a point where they can make episodes like canon. But yeah, that was just a little ramble, sorry. This new season keeps that same Bleach coolness, just in that nice refined Mappa style. Everything feels so new, but at the same time, not too different. I would honestly rate this as one of their best works because like, if they did mess up such a fan favorite, there would have been repercussions. I think Chainsaw Man is a little weird because you can tell that Mappa went all out in making it, but it feels like everything is too nice. The show felt like they were making an experience instead of an anime, and like they were trying to make the show as artistic and cinematic as possible. Everything felt so over the top, and what I mean by that is that some stuff felt over animated, and we get scenes like Aki walking like he had a shit up his butt. Another thing that makes me feel this way is the endings. 12 different endings for each episode. Like, I think that a less is more approach would have fit the show a bit more, especially with how simple it is right now. I feel like Chainsaw Man gets a lot of credit for being well animated, but to me, it's so lackluster narratively. Again, some scenes feel muted, just like Attack on Titan, which turns my brain off, and it does look cool at times, but yeah, most of the time my brain is just shut. Also, the pacing was awful. Like, that was just, it was shit. I think that Jujutsu Kaisen is the best show Mappa's animated, and Jujutsu Kaisen 0 to me is the best thing they've ever animated. This is the studio's favorite thing to work on, and it definitely shows. It feels the most akin to a regular shonen anime, and I think that's what the studio was trying to go for, but then at the same time everything feels so quality. From the pacing, the expressions, the fight scenes, the backgrounds, all of these things culminate into one of the best viewing experiences I've ever had watching anime. Season 1 and Season 2 had some of the best fighting scenes that I've seen in all of these shows that I've talked about. I think the only one that touches that top tier is when Yamamoto was fighting That fight was really hard. Like that was it was so cool. You just packed them up. Sorry if you didn't watch it. I think that too much of anything is bad for you, and in this case, Mappa is slowly killing me with every time they announce a new anime. What all these anime had in common was that they all had some sort of tone they were going for, whether it be returning one last time, a movie-like experience, or just a regular shonen anime done right. We got a couple of hits from those, and we got a couple of knots. But Jesus Christ, tell them to send their workers home.